Looking dapper.
I am drinking coffee, for those who are wondering. So for those who were, oh, is this going to be a light Aavak or a dark Aavak run? We shall see. We shall see. George, thank you very much for the cheer there. Okay. Holy moly, I'm glad you're playing this, Aavak. This game is depressing, but so interesting. I am not at all surprised. Not even slightly. Before we knuckle down to the game itself, just a quick little bit of information. Now, first and foremost, be aware of this text down here. This is a preview build. As such, it does not contain the full quality or content of the game. And that's probably part of the audio settings there. In fact, settings and other quality of life stuff like that is almost always the last thing that gets bolted on to a game in development. It's the rare game that actually tries to keep on top of updating the settings and other smaller tweaks and quality of life stuff throughout the development cycle. Just because in many cases, as they change the game and as they continue to develop the game, they're changing the kind of the lay of the land, and so things that they did in settings may become obsolete later on and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm sure the audio quality settings will be fixed. Other things. Now, there was a version of this some weeks ago, which only allowed you to go up until the 10th day. It was basically a demo. It was a pre-release demo. It was only available to kind of press and content creators and that sort of thing. This is not that. This is the newest pre-release build. It is still pre-release, and there are two things that I know of that are not included in this version. One, the opening cutscene to the game. And two, scenarios. Now, I'm not certain of how extensive scenarios are, how they even work, whether they... I think they're an alternate mode. Like, you can play a scenario of the game rather than playing through the main game. But the campaign is there in its entirety, so this is going to be the full run. We're not going to be stopped at the 10th day. We're going to be able to go all the way through. Now, to catch up, thank you again, Carnifox and McDew. It's Louis. I messaged you through Instagram a little while ago. This stream came at the perfect time, because I've started hallucinating again. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully they're good hallucinations. But thank you very much for the tip. Sweet Orange Bunny, thank you very much for the cheer. Carnifox again, and Oak has gifted a sub to George. Very nice of you. Very nice of you indeed. And more bits for the Bit Throne. Eliveth, I think. Thank you very much. Let Dark Aavak out. We'll see. Red Dragon as well, and my lord, Icy Heart. Ye gads. Woot woot. Aavak stream for once while I'm off work. Dark Aavak coming to light here in this game? Maybe. We'll see. I mean, this definitely does seem like a game where Dark Aavak would possibly thrive. And it might be increasingly difficult to be your dapperest self and not succumb to making decisions based on empathy and emotion rather than the cold, cruel, but brutally efficient Dark Aavakian philosophy of if I can eat it, it's food. Also, if you're weak, you're food. Actually, everyone but me is food, but the ones who are at least useful can stay as not food until I'm hungry. That generally seems to work in almost any situation. Actually, it's kind of frightening how easy that particular philosophy does seem to make every dire situation significantly more survivable. Probably best not to dwell on that one. Anyway, this is by the developers of This War of Mine. So expect a grim kind of game that isn't going to pull its punches. You're going to be faced with some, sincerely, dire situations that you're going to have to make decisions on. It's a bit of more of a macro scale sort of game. It's still strategy, much like This War of Mine, and that you're balancing resources and balances choices. Pardon me. But you are also going to be dealing with a much larger scale. This is much more macro. You've got a whole colony rather than just a small household. And this isn't based on real life, obviously. Maybe if the weather keeps going the way it is. But generally speaking, this is much more of a sort of fancy post-apocalyptic surviving the wastes. For those who don't know what Frostpunk is, that's pretty much it. We are going to be surviving the frozen apocalypse. It's a bit of a different apocalyptic scenario than most. Thank you so much to all of the cheers. Seriously, thank you so very much. Bell Steven, you just had to go and stream. I was ready to go to sleep, and you had to start a stream, didn't you? I'll stay for a little while. Don't make me stop you. Don't let me stop you from sleeping. But I'll enjoy your company while it lasts. And thank you again to Lazarus. I will have to watch you on the catch-up since I'm falling asleep. Go Dark Aavak, Dapper Coffee. Very well. But yes, this will be going up on YouTube after the fact as well. So if you want to catch it there, you're more than welcome to. And it'll be in a high quality, high resolution on YouTube than it will be on Twitch. Just for those who don't understand how I do it, with Twitch, I'm playing it at 1080p. I'm then scaling that down to 720p and pushing it up to Twitch just because 720p at 60 FPS looks a lot better with the kind of restricted bitrate that Twitch caps you at, whereas I'm also recording a copy for YouTube, which is recorded at a significantly higher bitrate, which is in the full 1080p. So that's why there's a bit of a version difference there. It's because if I try to play at 1080p 60 FPS on Twitch, you're going to see a lot more graphical artifacts because I'm limited in how much information I can push up. But whereas with YouTube, I can just dump enormous files on there and then it'll just work its way through it all. Okay, time for us to begin. 8-bit joystick. I'm just going to watch it later. Time for bed. Take care, mate. Take care. There's never a time where you have to stick around for a stream if you're tired. Even if this doesn't go up on YouTube, it will usually be available on Twitch after the fact in my VOD archive anyway. I don't pay gate any of that, so you don't need to be a subscriber or anything. Right. Leafin. Did you guys know that if... This is how I imagine Leafin sounds, by the way. Did you know that if you had Twitch Prime, you can get 500 bits for $1 as a one-time promotional deal, and you can spend them to your favorite broadcaster, like Aavak. Also, Dargans. Because in my mind, Leafin always adds Dargans to every sentence, every single sentence. You know how I sound, you asshole. Yes, I do, but you don't want to hear my Greek accent attempt. That would no. That's how friendships die, Leafin. I can mock your economy, and our friendship will endure. But if I ever try to impersonate you, like legitimately try to do a Greek accent, that is when you and I will stop being friends, and it'll be a tragic day. Right. Okay. It is time for us to get into the game. So, with all of that out of the way, let's begin a new home. We're not going to have a cutscene, but we may have some story. I don't know. Untreated sick people will become gravely ill, then die. Go figure. The frozen race are inhospitable to the weak and weary. No music. I'll do a little dance. No, I won't. I won't do a little dance. I haven't had nearly enough drink to do a little dance. Or enough sugar. Those are the two options to get me to dance. Fill me with sugar, fill me with alcohol. A new home. We fled from London and crossed the sea to reach the frozen north. On the way, our convoy was hit by a blizzard and scattered. A handful of us managed to reach the site of this generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? Did any of our people survive the blizzard? Are there any others out there? Whatever we do, we should expect the worst now that the world as we know it has crumbled. We have to survive. I don't know what time period this is set in, but it's very steampunky, so I've kind of got a feeling that it's more like sort of 1900s-ish, somewhere around there. Thank you very much for the cheers, Blaine and Sweet Orange Bunny, and to those who were asking what are bits, they are effectively tips through Twitch. Twitch is basically a middleman and skims a little bit off the top, effectively. Normally, you would pay, I don't know, for $1 worth of bits, which is 100 bits, you'd pay like $1.50 or $1.75, something like that, and then Twitch takes some of that, and then you can cheer it to anyone. You got a like on next to your name. So there's a little bit more value-added stuff, but it's effectively tips that go through Twitch, as opposed to something like Streamlabs or direct through PayPal or Patreon, that kind of thing. Right, 19th century. Yeah, actually 19th century, so 1800s. Oh, okay. Not bad, not bad. Yes, I'm wearing my T-shirt. Right, while drinking coffee. That's actually a little bit sinful when I think about it. We have to survive. This game is fantastically pretty, by the way. Though, a bit slow there. I'm not dropping any frames, so it was just slow. Fight the cold. We need to get the generator working. It provides heat and powers to the other buildings. Without it, we will freeze to death. Stockpile some coal and start the generator. How does one do these things? Let's pause it there. Right, so it's shut down. 0% temperature. How much coal have I got? Have I got any coal? I've got no coal. Right, okay. Plus 0 temperature in all heat zones. Currently, the temperature is minus 20. It's a balmy minus 20. That is fine. Let's see. Ooh, it is a little bit choppy, though. Let me quickly pop into settings and see if I can help that out a little bit. It could be the fact that I'm running it in borderless. Sometimes that actually doesn't play well with everything else. Let's resume. Still a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. Right, so what have we got? We've got steel wreckage. We've got wooden crates. More wooden crates. Coal piles. Okay. Now, have we got any coal piles a little bit closer, perhaps? Can I rotate? Yes, I can. Pretty good. We've got wood crates. Got various wreckage. Got frozen trees. All sorts of things around here. Now, I know a tiny little bit about the game. Basically what I've seen in promo stuff, and I watched a little bit of someone streaming it just before I began, so I've seen some of how good this game can look, and I'm really excited to show one little bit. If you haven't seen anything in this game, you are in for a visual treat. A very, very big visual treat. Wow, Spanorama. That is one excessively blingy clover there. My goodness. Deal on bits for Twitch Prime. I declare a bit war. Thank you. Marathon, thank you very much for the resubscription. 24 months in a row, 2 years. What is this? How is Dapper T got today? I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Very, very good, in fact. Very good. People are being excessively generous in stream today. Right, so we've got a coal area over here. I can... How many workers have I got? Right, you're not going to be able to see it because I'm covering it, but I've currently got 80 population, of which 50 of them are unemployed, and 15... I've got 50 unemployed workers and 15 idle engineers. Also 15 children. They are prohibited, though. Right, well, I'm not sure, like, what's the difference between workers and engineer? That's fine. Let's actually have a look. That'll give me 18 coal an hour. This will give me 18 coal an hour. So having engineers working coal does not matter. Okay, so get out there. We've got loads of people. Interestingly, I've got some buttons around here. Working hours are 8 until 6. Fair enough. That seems reasonable. I would like some more coal if I can. That's coal. That's coal deposit. I can't harvest that. Iron deposit. There's another coal pile. More workers. Another 15 over there. Go. I've got to stockpile some coal. 0 to 200 and then activate the generator. Well, I guess until I've got something else to do with all my workers. Everyone in the coal mines. This is now a Welsh colony. Right. And some people over there. Oh, I like that. Look at the little like burning barrels next to them. It might be a little bit hard to see. I can't really zoom in much more, which is a bit of a shame because this is a really pretty game. Okay, well, let's unpause and see how things go. Have I unpaused? There's space unpaused? Yes. And we can zoom in. Now watch this. They're going out with the little lamps, and they're trudging. They're slowing down as they reach the snow. But look at what they're doing to the snow. They are literally cutting a path through the snow. That is so cool. That is so ridiculously good. And you can see them kind of heaving as they're walking through. And the ones who aren't having to walk through, like there's someone else clearing the snow, like just trudging through it ahead of them, so they're walking normally. But when they're going through the snow, they are actually properly heaving. What on earth is this? A word of advice. Work is needed. There's so much to do and not enough hands to do it. A quick way of addressing this problem is to put our children to work. Wow. I said it was Wales. I didn't mean for it to go like that. No, we're not going to let the landowners put our children down to mines. They come out with weirdly twisted backs. Open the book of laws. Consider signing the child labour law. All right. Now, a big part of this game is... Aavak, really? Really, Aavak? This is so cool, really. Look, unintentional puns are the best ones. They're the only really good puns. Oh, Icy Heart. A bit more accepted. Mwahaha. Oh, and Aavak, fix your green screen to your bottom right. To my bottom right. Okay. Aavak, the children too. Quick. No, the children are not going down the mines. I refuse. Even Dark Aavak wouldn't put the children down the mines. Even Dark Aavak wouldn't allow for that to happen. Though for a different reason. You see, if you put your tenderest meat down in the mines, it stops being tender. Is that what? Why? No. If you force your lambs to do manual labor on the farm, they become tough and chewy. No. Everyone knows children need to be kept away from hard work. Also fed plenty. Also watered lots so that it's nice and juicy. And obviously, I mean, come on now. But no, there's not going to be any eating of the children, nor is there going to be making the children work. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this is a grim, dark situation. Sometimes, you've got to weigh these options. And this is what I love about games from these developers, is you are actually faced with things where you're like, well, on a purely ethical note, I know that this is wrong, but on the other side, is it better to let them die rather than have them work? And those sorts of choices start coming into play. Let me just catch up with everything else. Thank you very much, Red Dragon, for the resubscription. And thank you very much to Lord Taz, Mick Sassior, to Grey Goldfish for the host. Thank you very much. Very kind of you indeed. And to Carnifox, my lord, you really are actually full on having a bit war. I mean, I approve, but, only spend what you can afford to spend. I always get nervous when people spend a lot. I don't want anyone to want I don't want anyone to take away my want by accepting want themselves, because that's just moving misery around. That's not curing misery. That's just moving it, and I'm not a big fan of that. So only ever spend what you can afford to. And thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much for the host. Fat Manijak. I had to check there. I was going to say maniac, but I guess you could pronounce it that way. But okay, I'm not going to judge you for being excessively flatulent. That's a serious medical condition. Okay. Right. So let's open the Book of Laws. Now, this is a big part about the game. You have to, as the leader, you have to enact laws. So, the child labour, safe jobs. There aren't enough hands to do all the work. Will allow children to be employed in safe workplaces, like cookhouses or hothouses. After introducing this law, another one can be passed after 18 hours. Children can work in safe workplaces. Hope will fall slightly. Child workers can be injured in accidents. I can either have them work in safe jobs, or I can choose child shelters. Child shelters. Children will be safer if they stay in child shelters during the day, and they won't cause any mischief. After introducing this law, another one can be passed in 18 hours. This will allow me to build the child shelter. Hope will rise. Providing all children with a place in a child shelter provides a permanent hope bonus. You will have to build a child shelter. Now, this is part of, for example, like a promise. If I say, I like the sort of idea of the politics here. It's like, generally the populace is like, oh, we're worried about our children. And then the politician says, I will build a shelter for them. And then it's like, okay, you've got this many days to make good on your promise, or we're really going to be very unhappy with you. In fact, we may even actually revolt against you straight away. So they will pay attention to what you tell them that you're going to do. And if you don't do it, that is bad. I mean, that's realistically what it is kind of in the real world, but there seems to be less of an effect. You seem to have to be really, really going out of your way to break your promises before it has a tangible effect on you. It's weird how that works, but in this game, it's a little bit more immediate. Well, I guess this would really be the moment. I mean, is this going to be a dark Aavak run, or is it going to be a light Aavak run? I don't know yet. Spanorama. Okay, last one. Just to retake the shiny top spot, if only by one. Well played. Well played. Clearly, you're an accustomed gambler. It's like, I don't need to be significantly the chip leader. I just need to be chip leader by one. That's all. I only need to be just slightly more of the chip leader than you. But they need life experience, not a sheltered life. That's a reasonable argument to make. I mean, this is a dire situation. Do we have the resources available for us to be able to shelter the children completely? I mean, it's not like we're saying, go down the mines. It's like, no, you can help in the cook house or the hot house, which I believe is like a garden. It's like a greenhouse sort of thing. But they could still have it. This would be extremely young child apprenticeships in my mind, not get down the mine, slaves kind of thing. But the alternative is go to a shelter, be amongst other children, be watched over, be protected by the adults, possibly learn. I don't really think this really says it. Let's see. Darkness envelops you. No, it hasn't enveloped me yet. Not yet. Thank you so much for the continued cheers, Icy Heart and Batumnix. I was planning to sub, but my bank has some server issues, so have some ad bits instead. Thank you very much for Tumnix. Thank you very much indeed. Give the children a safe cooking job. It'll help them learn for when it's time to cook the adults. I mean, if we really wanted to, you could make the argument that you're saving the children by doing that. That, well, there's going to come a time when we silly adults are going to have some sort of falling out over some law, some promise that wasn't kept, and it's going to descend to anarchy, and we're all going to kill each other. And all that's going to be left is you children, because you were safely just cooking away in the cookhouse. And this way you'll know how to cook us, and the future generations will be ensured. Survival of the species, if you will. Thank you very much, Zastavia. And Carnifox, once again, my lord. I vote Labour. No lazy kids. Yes, no spoilers, please. I am playing this blind, but you, by all means, theorize around the choices I'm making, but don't tell me like what leads to what and things like that. Let's see. Work the children to keep them from their meat from getting freezer burnt. The kids cook the adults until they themselves are cooked. Brilliant. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This could go either way, especially since this is safe jobs. If this were like out and out, yeah, slave labor, then it would be an easy choice. But maybe. Hope will fall ever so slightly, though. And in a game where keeping the spirits of your people up, it is pretty important. I am going to say... This is honestly a difficult choice. I'm going to say child shelters. I haven't had nearly enough coffee yet to force my children to do work. Until it becomes clear that we need to. The only problem is I'm not sure if you can change a law once it's set in stone. This might be like stone tablet kind of laws. These are set. But for better or worse, no. We are gonna keep our children safe. Oh wow, that actually went up quite a lot. A desirable law. Okay, 24 hours. Kids could do something useful during their time in the shelter. And what are they going to do all day? Watch the snowfall? Shush. Shush, you naysayers. Shush. Child shelter. Base heating level 2. Provides a safe place for 15 children during work hours. Well, that's all we've got. Requires 20 wood. Base heating level 1. I'm not sure. But one thing I love about this game, look at the way it all builds out. And we'll be building up concentric circles. Oh, that's good times. Sure, I'll build this right next to... Oh, I can actually turn it around. That's pretty cool. Let's rotate it so that it's facing there. There we go. Donk. There we are. So that's going to be built, hopefully. Can I affect that? Waiting for workers. I have no workers available because I've got all of my workers out working the everything. Alright, I'm going to take back the workers there. I'm going to take back all the engineers from here and put all the engineers in there. There we go. I'll have 5 workers go down and help build this. They may be stone tablet laws. They seem to have pathways leading away from them. Okay. Good choice, Aavak. I've never played, but I'd assume healthy, safe kids are all around better for the colony. One would assume, but again, this is not going to be a simple game in that sense. We are definitely going to have to make some choices, not with our heart, but with our brains. It's just, I feel that we stand more to gain from having safe children than we stand to lose from the prospective workforce, especially because we'd only be having them working particularly safe jobs anyway. As a general rule, humans are a very social species. So understanding the psychology of humans is especially useful in a disaster scenario like this. And parents tend to work harder and be more docile if they know their children are safe and close at hand. Take care of the children, you curry the favor of the parents. And since the parents are the ones who are more likely to be able to take up arms against me, makes sense. Let's see. I really don't know if that's an eventual scenario that people could take up arms, and I'm not sure if parents are going to care at all. But I mean, the fact that hope would have descended, I want to try and keep hope up. We lack shelters. Oh, okay. We need to build these. I'm gonna have to activate the generator. Let's go ahead and do that. Ptonk. Can I activate the generator? Maybe they've got to bring the cover. Oh, children cared for. The child shelter is ready, and the children are safe inside. People can work without worrying that something will happen to their kids. Hope rises. Oh, it rose again. Ah, there we are. Promise fulfilled. Okay, well that's actually pretty good. Permanent modifiers. Every kid has a place in a child shelter. So overall, the hope benefits there. I'm not sure what happens if I get this fully stacked, but it seems reasonable that it would be good. Can I not turn this on? Consumption. Let's just pause that for a moment. The generator is off. Click to turn it on. There, maybe. No. Yes. No. Have I got to wait for it to come in? I'm clicking. Oh, right. Steam level 1. There we go. The generator is turning on. And it's spreading out heat. Now, the generator hums with the reassuring warmth, but we shouldn't take it for granted. If the generator goes down, the city dies. Be mindful of coal reserves. Now, food. There'll be no city if we starve to death. Secure a way to provide raw food, and build a cookhouse to prepare meals. Very well. But watch now. This will thaw the surrounding area. Oh, actually no. The whole area is pushed back, but that is now thawing that area. And as you can see, the steam level is rising, and generally this place is much happier as a result. So we've gone up to steam level 1. I'll just pause that there. We can turn on overdrive, sorry. When overdrive is on, the temperature in all heat zones rise by 1 level, but the generator stress rises as well. This, I imagine, is generator stress. When the stress reaches 100, the generator will explode and the game will end. Oh, straight up. Yeah, you're dead. Heat zones, temperature overlay. Womp. Look at that. You can see that the people are warm and the everything else is cold. So this is the general heat. The generator itself is creating a heat around here, and this is just flat out comfortable right now. It's preventing people from getting ill because the temperature is so high. It has a natural heat of 2 because of building insulation, and because it's in a heat zone that's getting heat from the generator, it's a little bit higher. Actually, bearing that in mind, maybe I should have built this further away since it has its own heat. Oh well, it's one of those things. Aavak, people will build buildings on their off time. So even if all are busy, buildings will be built, but slower. Ah, thank you very much, Zangiri. That's super useful to know. Aavak, you can build buildings outside that heat circle if they have good heat rating. So, yeah, that would have been a better one to have built there. Definitely. Okay. Let's see what else is going on in chat. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Spanorama. Chasing that top slot. Well played. Right. Why doesn't the temperature gradually decline? You also, Mrs. trying to tell Aavak to put children to work. He decided to put them in a shelter instead. Shush! Shush! They need good times. They need to be good and healthy and stuffs. Right, so we've got people, health, loads of things I can't do yet. I need more wood for these things. Okay, right. So, with all of the people that we've currently got up working, can I get other stuff instead? Yes, wood crates. How about we bring all my engineers back, have all my engineers go out there to gather wood instead. Okay, and here as well, wood crates there. Can I really not put any in there? I'm going to pull back a load of workers from there as well. Let's put 10 in each. There we go. And I've got 15 available engineers too. What other things can we grab? We can grab steel wreckage. You know what? Sure. Go ahead and grab a bunch of that as well. Grab 10 of that and I'll get another 5 over there for now. Until we can build other things. Because we're almost at maximum of coal. We've got about 5 days worth of coal there. Which is interesting. Not too long before I can implement another item. Ooh, okay. No roof over our head. Captain, people are understandably concerned about the lack of shelter. They're falling ill from sleeping outside in this terrible cold. We'd better do something about it. Okay, so I'll provide shelter for everyone. You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 80 people. You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 40 people. I won't address this right now. Discontent will rise slightly. 2 days. A day in this game seems to be a long time. I wish I knew exactly how much it was, but I'm gonna shoot for the stars, and we're gonna go for full shelter. At the moment, then, I'm going to cut back on all my workers and pop you to getting much more in the way of wood. Let's make sure that everyone is out there grabbing as much wood as we can. Please and thank you. We've got a decent chunk of coal right now, about 5 days worth of coal. Each one of these can offer only 10 people. Yikes. So we're going to have to get 8 of them. That's going to be a bit rough, but alright. Actually, I'm going to cancel the 5 over there, and you can work on these instead.
Looking dapper.
Best of luck, Aavak. Such decisions are usually very hard in games like this. Yes. Yes and no. Well, there's no point in not going for it. Child labour is the backbone of any society, Aavak. There. There to you. Oh, okay. We've got something else. Captain, we're facing demands. Remember this. People usually look for the quickest solution, not the best one.
Dapper.
You don't have to agree to everything they ask for. If you fix the problem your way, it's fine. Okay. Thank you. I'll bear that in mind. Thank you very much for the subscription, Ragnarok. And to Erin. Hey, how you doing? 14 months in a row, my lord. My migraine settled. So here I am. Oh, I'm glad your migraine's gone. Ah, I wish I could zoom in. I want to see what they're up to. Very low risk of getting ill. Good. Good. Very happy.
Dapper.
Build more homes to house all of your people. So parents. Oh, a child. Okay, so very low risk of getting ill. Children. Spouse. You work at steel wreckage. And your home is currently the generator itself. Alright, yo. That has been built, so now 10 people have home. I can mark all of them. Can I do anything with that? Does that show people to me? Free time. People on normal work shifts are free to see to their needs. Well, I would have loved it if you could have done a little bit more work, but alright. Hopefully, we're going to be okay with this. Secure a raw food supply. Build a hunter's hut or a hothouse. Well, I do need to get those, so food. I've got 100 raw food. A cookhouse turns raw foodstuffs into nutritious meals. 1 unit of raw food is used to prepare 2 standard food rations. Hunters based here hunt every night, venturing beyond the city to track their prey in the frozen wasteland. They provide up to 15 raw food per day. Drat. Should have gone for that one. And that's also a heat level 2, so I can build that on the outer ring quite comfortably. BFF just subscribed for the 31st month. Thank you so much for your support. And Carney Fox with the bits. My goodness. People are being so generous with the bits today. Thank you so much, everyone. I really cannot overstress how much I appreciate that. Okay, we'll pass a little bit of time since it's fairly late. It's past midnight now. Illness and healthcare. You can move the camera, blah, 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 blah. Camera controls, don't need to look at that. Resources and workforce, we've more or less already worked this out. Steam cores are a key part of advanced buildings. Okay. Raw food is prepared in food rations in the cookhouse. Righty-o. Wood and steel, most buildings require you to assign people. Righty-o. Controlling time, that one's obvious. Constructions. Use construction menu at the bottom of the screen to order construction. Buildings inside the heat zone are warmer and provide better living and working conditions. To make the best use of the heat zone, buildings are placed on a radial grid. All buildings must be connected to the generator by a street in order to function. Valid workplace, invalid workplace. Conditional placement. Okay. Temperature. Comfortable, livable, chilly. Cold, very cold, freezing. Keeping homes and workplaces as warm as possible helps prevent people from getting ill. Some workplaces might become inoperable if the temperature falls too low. The generator. The generator heats a circular zone around it, consuming... Has anyone else read the books, A Town of Ember, and all of the books around that? I forget what the saga or the trilogy is called. I think there was a movie made about it as well. I get such an Ember vibe from this generator. This idea, this beating furnace heart at the middle of a town, and everything is kind of reliant on this generator for their survival. I really get the town called Ember feeling from this. City of Ember, there we are. Yes, yeah, that's the one. Thanks, Blue Phoenix. And thank you again to all 7 deadly... All of them? My lord. Which is your favourite, though? That's a question that you're going to have to answer. Because I need to know now. I actually named all of my ships in Eve after the 7 deadly sins. Of course, I use the Latin names, just because I'm obnoxious like that. Hey, Lolash, how you doing, mate? This is, well, it's the full release with a caveat. This is still a pre-release version, but it is the full campaign. It lacks the starting FMV and scenarios, which, from what I can tell, are external to the full campaign. Those will be there on release. But other than that, it is the full game. Ira, Wrath. I did have one named that. What was it? Which did I name Gula? Was it one of my haulers? Or was it... I think it was one of my miners. I think it was my Hulk that I named Gula. Gluttony. Because it nom asteroids. Hey Elisa, how are you doing? Superbia. Yes. Superbia was reserved for my... you know what? It's been so long since I played Eve that I've forgotten the Marauder. My Marauder. Because it was ridiculously blinged out for missioning. I spent so much money on that ship. That broke all of the rules about blinging out your ships. Because that was worth so much. Oh my god. Anyway, so eating the frozen zone, you should turn it in as soon as you stockpile enough coal. Yes. Illness and healthcare. Cold homes or workplaces cause people to get sick. Without proper care, they can become gravely ill and might die. The sick can be treated in medical posts, but the gravely ill need an infirmary to be treated. Until you build one, you could save their lives by signing one of 2 laws. The radical treatment law allows you to treat the gravely ill in the medical posts, but some of them will be left as amputees. And, the sustained life law allows you to keep the gravely ill alive, but untreated in medical posts or care houses indefinitely. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. So the medical post, The sick can be treated safely. The gravely ill can receive radical treatment. The care house, the gravely ill and amputees living in care houses get half rations. The gravely ill can be kept alive when the sustained life law is signed. And the infirmary, the gravely ill can be cured safely. So with the combination of these two, no one needs to become amputees, I guess. Okay, that's good to know. Ah, it looks so good. Such a beautiful game, this. Such a beautiful game. I'm doing well, though. Lisa, thank you very much for asking. Never played Eve, grew up Catholic. That would definitely teach you about the 7 deadly sins, yes. Also, the virtues. Okay, I can introduce a new law. Let's have a look at the laws that I can introduce. Book of the Laws. Adaptation. Right. So, we've signed child shelters. Radical treatment, sustained life. Soup, food additives. Fighting arena. Okay, let's have a look at all of them. Emergency shift. Sometimes we have to concentrate on the task at hand at the cost of everything else. Or die. After introducing this law, another one can be passed after 18 hours. New ability. You can force workers in any facility to work for the next 24 hours. Using the emergency shift will raise discontent. Discontent will rise slightly. Might be important. Fighting arena. Nothing relieves tension better than watching a few rounds of an all-out slugfest. After introducing this law, another one can be passed. New building, fighting arena. Evening bouts will reduce discontent. You will have to build a fighting arena. I don't know if I packed my fighting trousers, though. These gentlemen obviously did. Food additives, soup. We can cook soup instead of full meals to feed more people with the same amount of raw food. After introducing this law, another one can be passed. New recipe, soup available in the cookhouse. Hope will fall slightly, discontent will rise slightly, but eating soup will cause discontent. Or food additives. Food additives. We can add sawdust to meals to make them more filling, although not exactly tasty or healthy. After introducing this law, sawdust meal. Hope will fall slightly, discontent will rise slightly. Some people eating sawdust meals will fall ill. Those seem particularly grim, but this is a particularly grim setting, so maybe we might have to. We'll wait on those until we actually definitely need it. Radical treatment, we already learnt about this. We'll try everything to cure the gravely ill, from invasive surgery to amputations. The gravely ill will be treated in medical posts. Hope will rise slightly. 30% of gravely ill treated in medical posts will be left as amputees, or sustaining life. We can't cure the gravely ill, but we can at least keep them alive. We won't risk dangerous amputations with radical treatment. The gravely ill will be kept alive but untreated. Hope will rise slightly, but discontent will rise slightly as well. The gravely ill will not be treated and remain a burden. The gravely ill will take up beds in the medical post. Ooh, okay, so there is, obviously there's an issue there. There's the care house, extra rations for the ill, or overcrowding. Ooh. Cemetery and corpse disposal. We will establish a burial ground so that we can lay our dead to rest with dignity and respect. After introducing this law, they're all going to say the same thing, I guess. I wonder if each new law increases the amount of time you have to do. Repeat, Aavak, you can increase the audio by a little bit. It's rather quiet right now. Thank you very much for repeating that, Leafin. I will do that. I would go with soup to get more meals out of your raw food. Yeah, I'm thinking I would probably go with that rather than sawdust, but... terminal care is essential as they will forever occupy healthcare otherwise. Well, we'll have a look at that because there are other options, but we'll see. We'll see how ill people get. Building a cemetery, hope will rise slightly. No risk of disease from unburied bodies. Each burial will keep some people from work for a few hours. You will have to establish a cemetery. Or corpse disposal. We'll keep dead bodies out of the heat zone and cover them with snow. The cold will halt their decay. After introducing new building the snow pit, no risk of disease from unburied bodies. Bodies are preserved for potential future use. Potential future use.
A magnanimous dispensation.
Wow. I'm going to ruin your name, and that makes me especially sad, considering. The bits thought they could be cheeky and keep me from cheering. Bah! Keep being awesome, Aavak. Thank you so fantastically much. Please put a lot of love in chat there. And I'm never confident about pronouncing anything like this, but Maneuveravjna, oh my lord. Maneuveravjna, I'm gonna try and say. For all I know, it's 2 words, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is ridiculously generous of you. Thank you. We could go with either of those. We've also got these ones. We can't go child labour all jobs. I guess that would have been moving on from having your children work the safe jobs. But medic apprentices. Education is key for our future. Let's teach our children medicine so that they can help with the sick. Okay. Children from child shelters will help at medical facilities, raising their efficiency. Or education is key. After introducing this law, another one can be passed. Children from child shelters will help at workshops, speeding up research. That might be useful. Either one potentially has danger, but I would say the engineer apprentice probably has the least amount of danger because they're not going to be exposed to the sick. You know, young, immature immune systems, not exactly the most hardy. Of all of these, though, organ transplant, ceremonial funerals. I'm nowhere near enough certain enough whether I'm playing Dark Aavak or Light Aavak here, so we're going to go for a safe option. We're going to go for soup. This will cause hope to fall and discontent to rise slightly. And eating soup will be bad, but it'll give us an option should we absolutely need it later on. So we're going to sign that into law.